to. I do. My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer. I was born October 6, 1917 in Montgomery County, Mississippi. I was the 20th child born to my mother and father. And at the age of 6 years old, I had my first job. My family, my mom and daddy were sharecroppers on the plantation of W.B. Milo. And Mr. Milo, he come to me and he say, Fannie Lou, can you pick cotton? And I say, I don't know. And so he sends me out to the field and tells me to pick 30 pounds. And I did. But it was at the age of 13 years old, I think I knew I wanted to be in politics. Because I just saw the way they treat colored people in Mississippi, and I want to do something about it. But it was in the summer of 1962 that changed my life forever. I went to my first protest rally. And at the end of that protest rally, we was arrested. And he took us, the sheriff took us back down to Indianola, Mississippi. And when we got there, we were charged, the bus driver was charged with having the wrong color bus. So we put up money, all of us betwixt us, and we paid for the fine. And when I got back home to the plantation, Ruleville, Mississippi, that's where I was living at the time, Ruleville, Mississippi. When I got back there, I learned the plantation owner had put me off the plantation just because I wanted to register to be a first-class citizen. So after being there for 18 years, I was a sharecropper and I was a timekeeper. I had been promoted to be a timekeeper. So I had to leave there that night. And I had to leave behind my two girls that me and Pap had adopted. That was my husband. I had to leave them behind. And I had to leave my husband behind. And I had to leave that night. But it was in the year 1963 that I went for a literacy training meeting, a rally. And that's where we learned how to pass the literacy test. We had to answer questions about the Constitution of the state. Some questions they probably couldn't even answer themselves. But we had to learn it in order to pass our test. So on the way back from there, we was arrested again. And this time we taken to Winona, Mississippi. And as I was getting in, the sheriff, he was arresting us. And as I was getting in, he kicked me. And when he get us down there to Winona, he put us in holding cells. And then some of us, he put us in different cells. And I heard horrible screaming. And I was hearing the licks. And I just kept hearing the licks. And I heard horrible screaming. And when it come my turn to get beat, 3 men come to my cell and take me to another cell and tells me, lay on your face on the bunk. And they give 2 colored prisoners blackjacks to beat me. And this one colored prisoner, he beat me till he was exhausted. And I was hollering and I was screaming. And he just kept on beating me. And I was trying to protect my left side because I had polio when I was 6 years old. And then when he got exhausted, he gave the Billy Jack to the other colored prisoner, and he started beating me. And I was trying to move my feet because it was hurting so bad. And I was trying to just move my feet so it wouldn't hurt me so bad. And the one sheriff, he told him, sit on her feet. And I was just hollering and screaming. And the sheriff, he said, shut up, nigga. Shut up, fatso. And my dress, it had hiked up, it had worked up on me. And I was trying to get my dress down and then get beat. The one sheriff, he come and he put the dress all over top of my head. And they just beat me. And I was just screaming. They beat me all in my head, all on my back, all on my side. And then they told me, get up. I couldn't get up. Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just had to lay down. And I finally got up. It was in 1964. We called that the Freedom Summer. We called that Mississippi Freedom Summer. And that's where the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, that's where they come to help us. I always had a time with that name, but they called them SNCC. And they brought a lot of help to us down there in Mississippi. And they had literacy schools for the children. And they help us learn how to pass the literacy test. And I was a co-founder of the Mississippi Freedom Party. And later on in 1964, I went to Atlantic City. And that's where a group of us was contending and coming against the segregated delegation that was representing Mississippi. So we went there because we wanted our voices to be heard too. But Leonard Bain Johnson, who was the president at the time, he didn't want them to hear what I had to say. They let Martin Luther King speak, and they let everybody else speak. But when it come my turn, he had them cut away to a press conference where he was supposed to get some news, but he didn't get no news. He gave some old news. But he didn't know that they were going to run my speech all that day and on into the night. Because I wanted them to know how they were treating us in Mississippi and how we just wanted to have our right to vote and how we just wanted to be considered first-class citizens. And in 1971, I run for the Senate for the state of Mississippi. I didn't win, but I run. I run. I want to thank you for letting me talk to you this afternoon.